Everybody, JayC, and welcome back to another live stream, Thursday night live stream. I know it's been a couple of weeks since the last live stream, but I got in today, just arrived today, literally, the new 112 Collective Batman figure, which you can see there behind Salome, who's already checking it out. So I thought we would do an unboxing. We'll see what kind of condition it's in. Does it have white film on it? Do I need to get some car wax to clean it off? I don't know. We'll have to find out. But it's been 3 years since I pre-ordered this thing, so hopefully it's not going to disappoint. But before we get into that, let's see who's in the house. So Henry G is in the house. Michael is in the house. Happy early birthday, Michael. Mr. All Mine is in the house. Everett is in the house. Welcome. T-Glue. Mr. All Mine. No, that's just Salome. Salome has once again inserted herself right where the camera is going to be. Chris is in the house. What's up? So yeah, it's been a couple weeks. Honestly, I really didn't have much to talk about the last couple of weeks, so I just I feel like if I've got really nothing on my mind, it's like I'm just gonna sit here and stare at the camera, and you guys are gonna sit there and stare at me on the screen, and it's like not gonna be a very exciting live stream. So it's like I'll just take a couple of weeks off. And this came in today, so I was like, yeah, we'll definitely do a live stream today and get some stuff open. I also got this arrived yesterday, the Masters of the Universe Dark Lin figure. I always want to call it Heelin, but the bodybuilder Evil Lin. So this just arrived yesterday. I hadn't had a chance to open it up. So I don't know. I guess this is Mattel's version of no plastic on their packaging. Well, I like the Revelation series. This wasn't my favorite look for Evil Lyn. I mean, I get what they were going for with the having He-Man's powers and everything, but nice artwork though. Okay, Salome has moved off to the side, so now we can get our first look at the 112 Collective Michael Keaton Batman. And you may notice here next to the 112 Collective, this is my very first Batman figure, the original Toy Biz 5-inch Michael Keaton Batman figure. I've had it. I mean, I've had that since a kid. I bought it when the movie came out, and yeah, it's always been a favorite figure of mine. But before the 89 Batman movie came out, I really was not that much into DC Comics. I mean, as a kid, I'd watched the 66 Batman series and reruns. But and it was funny, and I liked it, but it was campy. this was really my first exposure to like a darker, more serious Batman, and that's probably why that movie has such a high place in my standing of Batman films. See some more people chiming in here. Double D's in the house. Welcome. Nico, welcome. 3M, yo. J Blue, good to see ya. Everett is asking, does anybody know when they're going to be release the new April? Probably not for a while, Everett. Meaning they just showed concept art the other day. If they had an actual figure ready to go, they probably would have shown that. So it's probably going to be a little while. I don't know, Everett, because the artwork that they released was in black and white. So I have no idea what colors she's going to be. What's up, Glenn? Jason? So, for my, I guess as my reward for waiting 3 years for this Batman figure, Mezco threw in this little extra gift. So, always with the Mezco promotion, the Mezit, or whatever it's called. A little pin. More stickers, not Batman related, just Mezco. Yeah. I don't know what I do with my scissors. So, little itty bitty teeny figure, little hat. So these have gotten smaller. Like these little figures used to be bigger. I remember that Mezco would give out. He's got a little shotgun. So promoting their Rumble Society stuff. What seems to be, what Mezco primarily focuses on these days. I feel like Mezco's trying to move away from like the big licenses and just focusing on their own stuff. Yeah. So the Batman figure originally went up for pre-order back in 2020, if I remember correctly. So, and as I understand it, like they made it available more recently for people to buy, but then they went and like this week started canceling everybody's pre-order. So I think like the only people who have gotten the figure are those who pre-ordered it back when it originally went up 3 years ago. What's up, Ruben? All right, so here we have. I gotta be careful not to like spill any of the accessories out of the tray. Okay, so here's the figure itself, and it does have the white kind of powdery stuff. Now that Salome has moved away from the camera, I'll throw it up here. But I don't know. You can see like he's got that white coating on him. So I guess I'll have to try and carefully remove that, which Mezco, decided to provide us with guidance on how to do that. Everett, the Batman I believe, is completely sold out. In fact, as I was saying, people who more recently were able to pre-order it had their orders canceled. So probably for this one, you're going to have to go to the secondary market. So very rubbery suit. I'm sure you guys have seen like I know there's got to be like at least 10 reviews of this figure already up on YouTube. So I'm sure most of you have probably seen actual in-depth reviews of this. I just really kind of wanted to get, I wanted to see if it had the issues that people had been, reporting about it. I can see how this rubber material that covers the joints could rip really easy. So this is one where I'm going to try and clean off the white stuff, and then I'm basically just going to set it on a shelf and not do too much with it, because this definitely, and even if it doesn't rip, if you like really started to move these joints around, you're going to end up stretching out this rubber material. So it's like he's going to be wearing an outfit that's looks like it's 10 sizes too big. So this is not my first Michael Keaton Batman figure. In fact, I've got quite a few of them. So probably my favorite is the NECA one. And I think the NECA one is better than the Mezco one, just right off the bat. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the NECA one, you got to be careful with. I wouldn't like just start randomly moving joints on the NECA one, because NECA figures are definitely known to break. But I feel like the NECA one is more durable than the Mezco one. Now for bigger scale, I also have the original Hot Toys one. This is also a really good figure. I'm not a huge 12-inch fan. Now this one also, like the Mezco one, has the rubber type material, but and you can see like, well, I don't know what, but you can see like it's kind of bunched up a little bit here on the elbow joints. Now I don't like pose this thing around. I don't move the joints a lot, but this Hot Toys one definitely could have similar issues if you were really posing it around a lot and stuff on a regular basis. But this one, I mean, the Hot Toys one looks like Michael Keaton. I don't know. Let me give you a better look at the face. So it's not horrible, but definitely not as good as the Hot Toys one. And I would even say, the NECA one, I don't know. Maybe the Mezco one looks a little bit more like Michael Keaton. The mask fits a little bit better, I think. I guess on the Mezco one. So I guess if I had to give likeness, I would give maybe the Mezco one a little bit higher grade than the NECA one. But definitely the Hot Toys one is by far. I don't really have the camera set up for 12-inch figures, but that's the Hot Toys one. So that one is definitely by far. Now, if you want to go even larger scale, I have the NECA 18-inch Michael Keaton Batman. And this one, I like this head sculpt better than the 7-inch NECA one. And I mean, it makes sense. Bigger figure, they can get more detail in it and everything. But this is a pretty good figure as well. Now, this one uses hard plastic just like the 7-inch figure. So you don't have to worry about the joints, like the rubber material breaking and stuff. And if you want to go smaller scale, I've got the 4-inch Mattel one that they did. But I gotta tell you, this original Toy Biz one is still probably my favorite Batman figure. I mean, it's the only one that has the belt. I mean, none of these other figures has the utility belt that, pops in back into place and everything. The cape's still in the packaging. I didn't pull the cape out. I'm not sure how to get to the cape. Oh, there we go. Here's the cape. He's got a second cape, it looks like, over here. I guess you gotta pop his head off and put the cape in there. So the head's just attached with a magnet. So, again, I'm sure you've watched reviews of this already, so you probably know better than I do. And just for the record, I'm not a huge Mezco collector. I only have a few. I have a few here and there, but I don't collect 112 collective figures on any kind of regular basis. But this is the first one I have had that has like this magnet for the head. I don't know if that's something, this is the first time they've done that, or they've done the magnet on others, but it's the first Mezco I've had that Just holds the head in place with a magnet. That's kind of weird. I guess that allows you to turn it. Maybe that's why they did, because the bat symbol, which is true to how the costume was in the actual movie, is part of the mask. So Everett, I do not have any of the Justice League Superman figures that Mezco did. In fact, I don't have any Mezco Superman figures. I think for Mezco, I have the Dark Side figure that they did. I have the Crow figure that they did, and that was a really good figure. That Crow figure that they recently put out, that's a pretty good figure. Trying to think what other Mezco figure. I have a couple of the Captain America figures that they did, but those were okay. J Blues. Well, yeah. I mean, this figure, this was released at Toys R Us back in the day, and it was like a I want to say $25 figure. So, I mean, this was much more affordable as far as price goes. But, I mean, you didn't get nearly as many accessories. You get a lot of accessories with this Mezco figure. I haven't gone through them all, but you get a lot more accessories than you did with the Mezco one. So if you're like really into all the accessories and stuff, Mezco definitely gives you more. But yeah, as far as price goes, this figure was much cheaper, and released in a different day. I mean, this figure would probably, if NECA tried to release this figure online, like through like their own store or something like that, it would probably cost $35, which would still be cheaper than the Mezco one, but so my general thoughts is, I mean, I got to try and clean it. I don't like this white film that's on the costume, so I got to try and clean that. Hopefully that won't be too difficult. I don't think it looks bad. So I'll display it with my other Michael Keaton Batman figures. I've got a whole shelf dedicated to essentially classic. So the shelf I have the Hot Toys Christopher Reeve Superman and the Hot Toys Michael Keaton Batman on that shelf. I have all my smaller scale Michael Keaton Batman figures on the shelf. I have the Toy Biz Superman figure, that was made like this one, kind of the Christopher Reeve 5-inch Superman figure that Toy Biz did back in the day, the DC Superpower type one. So I have that figure. I have the Mattel 90s Flash figure. I have the Mattel Linda Carter Wonder Woman figure on that shelf. I have the 66 Batman figures that like NECA did, and the Hot Toys one and stuff. So like it's my shelf of classic movie and TV DC superheroes. So I'll display it on there with those. It's not bad. I mean, I definitely, the rubber, I think, if you're somebody who likes to do like a lot of fancy toy photography and put them in superposes and stuff, I think you're going to have to handle it with a lot of care, so that you don't tear this rubber material or stretch it out too badly. But, otherwise I think, and like I said, you're going to have to probably clean it, get that white film off of it. But otherwise, yeah, Michael, the John Wesley ship Flash from the 90s, Mattel did a DC multiverse figure of it, so I have that one. Oh, and I also have the Flash figure from this Toy Biz line as well, so that Flash figure's on the shelf there too. Mr. Roma, yeah, I've seen, like, I mean, like I said, NECA put out an actual thing telling you how to clean it and stuff. So, so yeah, That's what I said. I don't have my car wax here, so I can't clean it off here on the video. But I'll definitely take a stab at that, because I've seen some images of people who cleaned it off, and it definitely, you know, looks much nicer when you get this kind of white film off of it. Did Mexico? I assume you mean Mezco? No. If you meant Mezco, the only Linda Carter Wonder Woman figure I'm aware of is the Mattel one. Um, Maybe Hot Toys did one. I can't remember, but Mattel, like for 6 or 7 inch scale figures, Mattel's the only one I believe that's done a Linda Carter Wonder Woman figure. It's the only Linda Carter Wonder Woman figure I own. But it would be cool if somebody did a. I mean, if Mezco did one, I might get it. But if McFarlane did one, I would definitely be interested in getting. I would love to see McFarlane do some, you know, these classic heroes. Um, I don't know if he ever will, but you know, and I have the Michael Keaton 7 inch Batman figure coming from McFarlane Toys, you know, for the new Flash movie. So I'll add that to my shelf as well. Mr. Allmine, I don't think I got a shipping notice from Mezco itself. I got shipping notices from FedEx. Like I have the FedEx app, and I get, like, anytime a FedEx package is shipped to me, I get an email from FedEx. So I got emails from FedEx letting me know it had shipped and everything, but I don't think I got anything from Mezco. I logged on to the Mezco website and checked the status. And last time I checked the website, it still said my order was processing. But Michael, I have no idea. I mean, we saw images leak out for it, so, but I have no idea when they're going to officially get around to revealing it. Probably not until closer to the summer, but at the earliest, they'll probably wait until the Secret Invasion series starts to air, unless, of course, it leaks out earlier. I don't know. Yeah, Everett, the Kingpin, the Disney Plus Kingpin is probably the one I'll be most interested in, that Disney Plus wave. But yeah, I definitely want to get that one. Henry, cool. You got a shipping notice? I'd have to go back to confirm whether I got one from Mezco or not. Like I said, I definitely got them from FedEx, but I don't remember if Mezco sent me one. I got the emails from Mezco, like, telling me that I should update my address, and you know, that they were going to be charging me soon and things like that. But I can't remember if I actually got a shipping notice from them. Glenn, again, want to thank you for all you do informing us on action figure enthusiasts on the latest news. Always my pleasure, man. Always try and bring you guys the most accurate and fastest news possible. So, I mean, I wanted to look at that, but I mean, really, you know, what are you guys what are you guys collecting? I mean, what's going on in the collecting world of action figures that you guys or most interested, or you know, I would think about these live streams is I like to hear your guys' opinions and thoughts. I could sit here and ramble about whatever until Glenn. Did you order both of them, the Hulk 2-pack and the Doctor Doom one? I didn't pre-order them today, but I will probably get. I definitely gonna get the Captain Marvel Doctor Doom 2-pack, just because I want a classic Captain Marvel. That's like the Captain Marvel I think of back when she was part of the Avengers and everything. So I definitely want that one. The Doom's okay, but I'm getting that 2-pack mostly for the Captain Marvel figure. The Hulk 2-pack I probably will get just because I wouldn't mind having a good Bruce Banner figure, but Mr. Allman pre-order Bruce Banner and Gray Hulk, cool. And I did not get the single release Gray Hulk, so I missed out on that one. So it'll be good to get both the Gray Hulk and the Bruce Banner. Steve says, Ronan, you're, I assume you mean the NECA one? I just got here, I got the last NECA figure I got was the Alf figure, the Ultimate Alf figure. So that was actually pretty cool. The only thing I ended up getting from Target Holothon was the Rocksteady and Bebop superhero, them dressed up as superheroes. That was the only 2-pack I got from the Target Holothon event. Everett, no sign of Yellow Daredevil. Definitely not in the next Disney Plus wave. That doesn't mean that Hasbro couldn't do one at some point, but Yellow Daredevil is not going to. Kingpin's in the next wave, but not Daredevil. And what about that news today from McFarlane Toys about them launching a collect like a specially would they put it collector edition figures. So that was kind of weird and surprising. How are those going to differ from their normal DC multiverse figures other than it sounds like they're going to go deeper into more non-Batman figures. It's almost like they should have just called it the non-Batman line. But I wonder if they're going to be like more expensive. Are they going to have more accessories? It'll be interesting to see what they end up doing with that. Nice. I still have not gotten. I haven't gotten any Black Series figures in a while. Can't even remember what the last Black Series figure I got was. Mr. Allmine says maybe this is a way Todd can do his favorite statues. I got the Bat Jet. I have that on pre-order from McFarlane's store. Even though I have I got the Spin Master 12-inch one, which actually, I thought worked pretty well. But I kept my order for the McFarlane one just because I'm curious to see how much better the $250 McFarlane one is going to be compared to the much cheaper Spin Master one. Glenn, I don't know. I tried finding out, but I didn't get a lot of details. I think it's going to be made available probably maybe next week, as early as next week. Sometime in the middle of this month is what I was told. But I have absolutely no idea what the Big Bad Toy Store McFarlane exclusive is going to be. Danny, did I get the Marvel? I assume you mean Marvel Legends Blob figure. Yes, I did get the Blob. I missed out on the Build-A-Figure Blob, so I definitely got that, and I think it's a great figure. I thought Hasbro actually did a pretty good job with that one. And I got the last Marvel Legends I got. I probably was the Blob figure. I got the Spiral figure. Um, I think those might have been the last two Marvel Legends that I've gotten. Coco says, "Mega Deluxe Shumagor." That beholder they showed off for Dungeons and Dragons. First thing I thought of when they showed that thing was, man, that would probably make for a pretty good Shumagorath figure. Hasbro should uh the Marvel team should get their hands on that mold and retool it for Shumagorath. I think it would definitely work. Hey Jerry, welcome back. I'm sure they will do Thunderbolt Ross either for when their Captain America New World Order movie wave or the Thunderbolts wave, but I think it's probably a safe bet that we will be getting a Harrison Ford General Thunderbolt Ross figure from Hasbro on the Marvel Legends line fairly soon. Glenn says, ordered the bundle from McFarlane Toys. Glad I missed the Dick. I didn't like that Dick Grayson Robin too much. I don't know. I didn't think that figure looked too good. I didn't get that one either. But I'm not surprised it sold out, but I just wasn't too impressed with that one. Like for McFarlane, the next I'm definitely gonna get the Calabac figure, the Mega Calabac. I haven't gotten it yet, but that's definitely on my to get list from McFarlane. I've kind of those Titan figures I kind of wanted to get, but the more I look at them, the more I'm like, I don't know if I like these enough. So I have not pulled the trigger on the Titan figures yet. I'll probably get the Superboy figure, the McFarlane Superboy. Coco, I don't think there's been no indication of a Shumagorath figure from Hasbro at this point. I know it's been a long rumored figure, but I have a feeling that was one of those rumors that did not pan out. But again, after I saw that Beyonder figure, I thought that definitely could be something that Hasbro could easily retool for Marvel Legends and release as Shumagorath. I keep missing out on the Platinum Edition Mr. Freeze. Like it, like every time it's gone made available in the McFarlane store, I've missed it. So I don't like the Catwoman figure. I do like the gray one better than the purple one, but I just don't like that sculpt. The crotch section to me just looks way too off, so I've passed on that one. The Golden Age Flash, the darker color Flash, if I saw it in the store, I might get, but I wouldn't pay extra for it. Yeah, I saw the Titan Wave was in stock at places. I haven't pulled the trigger on it. Jay Blue, yeah, I mean, definitely hurt. I thought did a great job with that character, so it will, I mean, Harrison Ford's a great actor, but it will be, kind of hard to see a different actor in that role. But I'm definitely interested to see what they do with him, if they're going to actually make him the Red Hulk. So I'm curious, I don't know, do any of you guys collect wrestling figures? And if so, are you planning or have you backed the new Mattel Nitro entrance thing on Mattel Creations? It seems to be kind of struggling, so I'm not sure if it's actually going to make it or not. I mean, it's still got plenty of time until the campaign ends, but I just feel like if it doesn't get to the early bird figure by the end of tomorrow, it's just not going to make it. But I don't know. Do you guys, any of you guys collect wrestling figures? One says, I'd like Marvel Legends to do a build a figure of Goliath, Hawkeye Clint Barton from Avengers issue 28. If they do Goliath or Giant Man, I doubt it would be based on the Hawkeye version, but I don't know. Giant Man seems like as as far as people's speculation on the next Marvel HasLab, Giant Man seems to be one of the favorites. Jason, you back? All right, so you backed it. So if they don't include the Hulk Hogan figure, is that going to change your mind at all, or are you still going to keep backing it? I bought the Hulk Hogan and Mr. T figure for nostalgia, but I'm not into wrestling figure. I got that I had pre-ordered that Mr. T versus Roddy Piper 2-pack on Amazon, and Amazon canceled my order for that the other day. I'm not really into wrestling figures, but like you, I got that Piper versus Mr. T 2-pack for kind of nostalgia's sake, but I was kind of pissed when Amazon canceled it yesterday. See, if we were gonna do a Goliath, I'd rather see like the Thunderbolts version of Goliath. Jason says, still gonna get it. We already have, yeah. And I've seen people say, to me though, the thing, it's not so much the Hulk Hogan figure itself, because I get they've done a ton of Hulk Hogan figures, and that's probably why they made it the early bird figure. But I've seen a lot of people complaining about the $400 price, which people complaining about prices is not out of the ordinary, but I feel like without all those figures, I don't think that that stage or entrance thing is really worth $400. And so I feel like a lot of people are like they want to get it if they know they're going to get all the figures, but if like they start to see that some of the figures aren't going to be included, they're either not going to back it or they're going to back it, but then if they don't get to like a certain point, they're going to not back it. So I don't know. It's more about like a perceived value that people want to see all those figures included if they're going to throw down $400. And if they think all the figures are not going to be included, then they're going to be less likely to want to back it. Sorry. Salome is now sitting in front of the screen, so I can't read your guys' comments. For me, though, I'd rather, I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like Fing Fang Foom would be a better choice for the next HasLab than a Giant Man or Goliath. And I still, I don't know, feel like maybe that's what they'll end up doing, but I just feel like as far as character selection, more people would be interested in like a really like an even bigger than the build a figure that they did before, Fing Fang Foom over a Goliath figure. All right, man. Take it easy. Have a great weekend. Coco said, "Yeah, that would be a. You're right. That would be a good pack in a Mandarin, a classic Mandarin figure. That would be pretty cool." Everett, the Blue Beetle trailer didn't look too bad to me, but it's a definitely one I'm gonna wait for home release. I'm not gonna go to the theater and see that one. I felt like it was trying too hard to be funny, so I don't know. I know that's kind of a all too common thing with superhero movies these days, but Jerry says, would fireworks come out of the stage? That would be cool. 'Uh, no. Um, Pattinson Batman's not my favorite, so I didn't get any of like the McFarlane figures or anything like that. So no, I don't have any plans to get. I mean, I thought the movie was okay. It was better than I thought it was going to be, but it's still definitely not like my favorite Batman. 3M says they should throw in Booker T as a figure for the arena. 3M. Well, again, I think that was meant as a joke, but yeah, like I say, it just tried too hard to be funny, and it might be funny. I don't know, but I just like, and I mean the special effects, the suit looked good. So, and honestly, I mean I'm not a huge Blue Beetle fan to begin with, so I'll definitely watch that when it comes out on HBO Max. And I'm wait just like I'll watch Shazam when that comes out on HBO Max. But I'm probably not. Honestly, I'm probably not even gonna go see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I that's another one that just kind of looks to me like is wait for it to come out on home release. Jerry, nice. You got $5 flock Panther. That's pretty nice. I only saw the flock Panther at my Walmart one time, and it sold out pretty quick. So I don't think I'll be seeing any clearance Panthers at my Walmart. Coco says, "Did anyone notice the box art from the Doom versus Captain Marvel 2 pack? They have Doom posed on the front like he appears on the cover of Secret Wars 10. It's totally the wrong armor." Well, I mean, they're calling it the Secret Wars Doom, but I think it's based more on the original Mattel figure that they did in the Secret Wars line, as opposed to how he actually appeared in the comic books. But it looks like he's just kind of squatting, so. I mean, if I remember, you're talking about the issue where Doom's holding up his mask. Three. Well, that Sergeant's. If you're talking about the classified one, that's a great figure. Yeah, not me. I got a nice enough screen TV in my house, sound system, comfortable chairs. Last two movies I went to, which was Ant-Man and I forget which one I went before that one, but last two times I went to the movie theater, I had to drink flat Coke because the movie theater didn't bother to keep their uh their soda machines filled. And like I don't know if they're trying to cut costs or whatever, but it just last two times I went to the movie theater, it was not a pleasant experience. And I have a nice enough home theater system that it's just not worth it. I saw Creed. I finally saw Creed. I mean that movie, like I that movie Creed 3 was only out in theaters what 3 weeks ago. I was surprised to see it was already available on home release, but I watched that this weekend, and I thought it was better than the second Creed movie, but I didn't think it was as good as the first. Definitely not as good as like Rocky 1 through 4. But I mean it wasn't bad, but I'm definitely glad I didn't go to the theater to watch that one. Did I collect? You're talking about Mattel. I have a few of them, but no, I did not collect the Mattel DC Universe Classics that much. I was more of a DC Direct kind of guy. I always thought the DC Direct figures, even though the articulation on a lot of the DC Direct figures suck, I always thought the DC Direct figures look better than the Mattel figures. Oh, okay, issue 11. Jerry says we always bring our own Coke into the movie. I mean, one of the few reasons to go to the movie is for like, I mean, I love movie popcorn, and I have like a popcorn machine to make popcorn, but it's like the butter or something. I don't know. It's still not quite as good as movie popcorn. So, but yeah, I just trying to think. Ant-Man was the last movie I went to see in the theater, but I can't remember what the one was before that. I saw Top Gun, the second Top Gun movie in the movie theater. I saw Black Adam in the movie theater. Trying to think what else. No, I no, I saw the first Avatar movie in the theater, but I did not go to see the second one. I did not like the first Avatar movie. I have no interest in going to see the second one. I might not even watch that one when it comes out on home release. I never liked that movie very much, and I always the only reason why that movie did as successful as it did was because of the 3D. It was like the first 3D movie, and so everybody went to see it because all the hype around the 3D. And I did not think that was a good movie. So, and no, I'm not going to see Super Mario. No real interest in seeing Super Mario. I didn't go see Dungeons and Dragons. I'll watch that when it comes out on Paramount Plus. The Dungeons and Dragons actually has gotten pretty good rating or reviews and stuff, so that actually ended up sounding like it was better than I was thinking it was going to be, but I'll definitely wait for home release on that one. I'm not really that much into Super Mario, so I don't have a huge I know there's a lot of hype, a lot of negative press about that movie too with all the casting and stuff, but I'm just not a big enough Mario fan. Glenn says as kids my mom used to give us popcorn in brown paper bags. You talking about the movie theater or just in general? Brown paper, I mean, that's what they use it, or at least that's what they used to use at the movie theaters. Just, I mean, they weren't brown, but it was the same thing, just paper bags. Tigley, no, I definitely will probably pass on the Barbie movie as well. And in fact, like everybody throwing up those stupid Barbie movie posters with like different characters on it. I'm sure that was a marketing ploy on Mattel in the in the studio, but that's gotten annoying. Now the oh, I will probably go see the Flash movie in the movie theater just because of Michael Keaton Batman. But honestly, I'm not sure. You know, my days of going to the movie theater are probably gonna get fewer and fewer, far between. And I used to go to the movies all the time. I mean, I'd go to the movies like once a week or so. But the movie experience is just not as good as it used to be. And or I won't. Well, again, last two times with the flat coke, but I think it's more about the home viewing experience has improved so much over the years that I just enjoy it more. And I mean, when you got to get up and go to the bathroom, you can just stop the movie and go to the bathroom. I mean, things like that. And, those are things when you get older that you have to think about. But I don't know when that thing's coming out, Everett. That seems like that should have been out by now, but I have not heard anything about a release date. I haven't seen it like show up overseas. That's probably why Hasbro hasn't announced they've got a wave of Spider-Man movie figures that are supposed to be coming out this year, so they probably haven't announced that because they haven't released the 3-pack yet. I played Super Mario Brothers as a kid. I mean, Donkey Kong. I mean, it's not that I don't like Mario. Even though I like the games, it's just not such. So it was like same thing with Sonic. I used to play Sonic the Hedgehog all the time on Sega Genesis, but when they start making movies about Sonic, it just doesn't interest me that much. I guess video game movies have just never been that. Usually those are ones that I'll end up waiting to watch at home. Even even like the original Street Fighter movie and Mortal Kombat, which I actually liked those movies. I ended up I'm talking about back in the day. Well, actually, I take that back. I like the original Mortal Kombat movie. The Street Fighter one with like John Claude Van Damme, that was kind of lame, but but I don't think I went to the movie theater to see either one of those movies. Well, I saw Seth Rogen caused a stir because he came out and said that the original Mario movie was like one of the worst movies ever made, and I guess that pissed off all the Mario fans. I don't know why, but video game movies have never been that interesting to me. Even like that HBO series with Pedro Pascal. I watched the first two episodes and it was better than I thought it was going to be, but I have not gone back and watched the rest of that first season yet. Of course, I didn't even realize it was based on a video game at first. I don't like many Seth Rogen movies. I mean, he played a part in bringing like the boys series to life. So I give him credit for things like that, but in general, I'm not a huge Seth Rogen fan. Steve, I guess they could, but honestly, I think Turtles is probably the only action figure line NECA has going that is really selling well for them. And that's just my speculation, but I think the alien stuff has not been selling as well for them. Same thing for Predator. You know, I think they've kind of like done those lines to a point where, they need turtles in order to kind of sustain themselves. And even the turtle stuff, I have a feeling is maybe the appeal of them has started to wane a little bit as they've been getting more and more into the obscure characters. So ever, I doubt anybody here has seen Super Mario since that literally just opened today. There probably might be some folks who've seen Dungeons and Dragons already, but my guess anybody that would have been here is probably out watching the Super Mario movie now. Mr. All My, yeah, my target's just like, and even the turtle stuff, as they've gotten into the more obscure characters, have sat on the shelves. Like those animated series 2 packs, most of those have sat on the shelves. That's why when everyone was like losing their minds with the holothon stuff, I was like, just chill. That stuff's not going to be that hard to get. Now, things like the accessory pack, that's kind of the rare exception. But even the turtle stuff, I think, has definitely started to wane a bit. I mean, I don't buy nearly as much of the NECA turtle stuff as I once did. So I mean, there's definitely going to be diehard fans that will get every single figure, but I feel like as they get into the more obscure characters, less and less people are starting to buy those things. Like I would almost say that like NECA's gargoyle figures probably have become as popular as their turtle stuff. But there's only so many gargoyle figures that they can do, so they're kind of limited on those. Yeah, I mean NECA has pretty much said that they're going to offer the accessory pack probably through their own online store at some later date. So, and Target really, I mean, I don't think they stocked that thing worth a damn. If Target had really stocked that accessory pack in any real way, I don't think it would have been that hard to get. But because it was kind of like I think stores got maybe one or two sets at most, and of course they sold out pretty quick. Tea glue prices are to some extent, but one of the things you got to realize about this hobby is a lot of the people in this hobby have a lot of disposable income. I mean, I'm not saying everybody, but this is a hobby that tends to be somewhat recession resistant. So, you know, you'd be amazed at how much people are still buying action figures, even with the rising prices and all the bad news with the economy and things like that. You know, because like I say, a lot of people that collect these things have disposable income. Finally got the Walgreens Mr. F. Not sure what Mr. F figure you're referring to, Coco. But I mean, you know, rising prices definitely, I think, you know, do limit. I mean, I don't buy nearly as much stuff as I once did. So, I mean, it can have a negative effect. So don't get me wrong on that. But I do think this particular hobby tends to see less decline in sales, even when the economy is maybe not as strong as we would like it to be and stuff. But I think also there is a glutton of product that is being put out there every day from all these companies, whether it's the big companies or the small companies, whether it's these independent guys. I mean, every time you turn around, somebody's launching a Kickstarter, right? And I mean, the age of independent Kickstarter type figures, I mean, definitely this is probably, you know, the most popular I've seen that type of thing. But again, it's like it's getting to the point where the market is becoming so saturated with so much different product that even in a good economy, it would be difficult to collect everything that's coming out. So, and all these big giant items, I mean, you know, from Thunder Tanks to HasLabs to what have you, I mean, you know, these companies are just putting out so much stuff these days. It's crazy. The Mr. Fantastic Walgreens. Oh, that's an oldie. I'm surprised you still saw that in stores. And for like me, it's as much about limited space as it is money. Like I don't see a point in buying something if I don't have a space to display it. So if it's just going to sit in the packaging on a shelf someplace, you know, especially with the rising prices, I'm like, I'm far less likely to buy it because I'm like, I have no place to put it. So what's the point in getting it? So for me, that's where I kind of find myself buying less and less because it's the combination of rising prices with all the stuff that comes out now, just having no place to actually display everything. And I think that's a good thing. I think I always feel like that there's like some people feel like they have to buy everything. Like there's this unseen pressure that like some collectors seem to have where they feel like they've got to buy everything. And I feel like that's not really healthy. in a lot of ways. And like, I think it's better to be more choosy and just get the stuff that you're going to enjoy. Don't just buy a Marvel Legend because it's the new Marvel Legend that's come out. You know, buy the one that you like and you're going to enjoy it, and then take the time to actually enjoy it. I feel like, and I'll put myself in this boat because I've definitely done this myself. But I feel like, you know, I get the figure and I'm already looking at what's coming out next before I've even really taken the time to enjoy the figure that I have. So it's like, and part of that is again because so much stuff comes out so fast, but I feel like, you know, this hobby will be a lot more enjoyable if people just take the time to enjoy what they already have and not focus quite as much on what's coming. And, you know, for me to tell you that is actually kind of counterproductive because obviously I run websites that cater to news about stuff that's coming out. I have sponsors who pay for advertising, you know, to advertise the new products that are coming out for you to buy. So, you know, there's a little bit of conflict of interest in me telling you to be like, don't necessarily buy everything, you know, enjoy what you have. And then, you know, once you've thoroughly enjoyed what you have, then maybe look at the next item that you're going to get. But, Paul, so I don't know. It's not really clear what Hasbro's doing with their packaging. We saw that Spider-Man wave with the, you know, card backs with the plastic, but you know, they never really gave us any explanation for why they did that. In fact, they went out of their way. They had the Hasla or they had the live stream that they did where they showed off those Spider-Man figures, but deliberately mentioned nothing about the packaging or like the lack of builder figure or anything like that. They kept that a secret when they could have sat there and kind of gotten ahead of it and told us what was going on, but instead they chose not to. But whether that's going to become more of a norm or not, I really couldn't say. I feel like they were maybe testing the waters, but yeah, we'll have to see what they end up doing with that. A PR statement in regards to packaging? If they did, I missed that. Igloos. They sent a mess. They sent a message where. Hey guys, if I missed that, I must be slipping because I totally missed that. Where, huh? Huh. I'll have to look into that. I've not gotten that message or seen anything about that until. From Bio Pet or Recycle Pet. I don't know what pet is. Helping us achieve our priority of meeting her. Oh, you're right. Toy Ark has some statement. They said that their PR sent them. Of course, I hope this isn't the same PR that sent Star Wars fan sites word that there was going to be no pre-orders for Star Wars and Indiana Jones figures, because we saw how that turned out. But it does sound like those Spider-Man figures that Hasbro did with the plastic, was kind of like a, well, his tank and Toy Ark are the same site. They're owned by the same people. So, but yeah, so I'll look into that. But Everett, it's not clear. It says select products from their portfolio, so it doesn't even necessarily say like all GI Joe and all Hasbro, So it's kind of a vague statement that they seem to be slipping out on the down low. But I'll check more into it. Oh, did he? Well, he must have just done that because it wasn't up there. See what happens when I'm sitting here talking to you guys and all this news starts to break. And I see. But you would think like something like that Hasbro would put up on their own social media and stuff. It's like, I don't know. I'll look into it, but it does sound like we're gonna be getting plastic back again. So that's all right, Mr. All Man. Fine. You guys are worth it. I can't be everywhere all the time, so 3M says, I love how Hasbro announced the multiverse of madness. Well, that happens all the time, man. It's just like when I got the Tigra figure and then they announced the new Tigra, and then what was the other one? I don't know, it was another one that I gotten. So that happens all the time. Michael, since I don't even know for sure Ezra is going to be in the Ahsoka series, I mean, it probably will, but if he's in the Ahsoka series, then yes, I'll probably do a figure of him. So I was still reading on this packaging stuff. All right, first thing I need to know is what the hell is pet plastic? Polyethylene terpelpathlate something is the name of a type of clear, strong, lightweight, and 100 recyclable plastic. Unlike other types of plastic, PET plastic is not single use. It's 100% recyclable, versatile, and made to be remade. So there you have it. Recyclable plastic is coming back for Hasbro. Though I have to wonder, when was this First, I'm now reading something here, and granted, I have not thoroughly researched this, but I'm reading something here that says, why is PET plastic toxic? PET is known to leach anatomy, toxide, and something or other. Both of these are dangerous to health, while anatomy may contribute to cancer development, skin problems, mental, and pregnancy issues. I don't know. Hopefully, it's not toxic. Not all plastics. Plastics are usually made with chemicals that are pretty, when they're melted down into their individual components, can be deadly. But I don't know. I'm not an environmentalist, and I'm not a plastic expert, so I'm not really. It kind of sounds like a marketing term, like, oh, we've got this plastic that's completely now environmentally safe. And yes, pet, it probably will be more expensive, so I definitely could see that raising prices on figures. See, sometimes you got to remember, you know, be careful what you ask for, because you might get it. So now you might get your plastic back in your packaging, but now you might have to pay even more for it. So I've never the windowless packaging has not bothered me in any way since I buy most of my figures online. I've never had to worry about the swapping issues or anything. And being that, you can't look at the figure when you buy it online until it arrives at your house. Not being able to see the figure has never been that big a deal. Plus, I open most of my figures, so you know, so I've never been bothered by the whole plasticless packaging thing. But Laura says that's bull about the plastic. I'm not sure which part of the plastic is bull, but if you're talking about the toxic part, hopefully you're right there. That was when I googled pet plastic, that came up. But well, Michael, you're reading rumors and headlines. There's been no official announcement about Ezra being in the show yet, so I assume he probably will, and at which point he will likely almost definitely will get a figure at some point. But let's actually see him in the show and then worry about a figure. I was surprised like I was surprised that I've been seeing a lot of people hating on the Mandalorian after this week's episode, and I didn't think it was like the best episode in the world, but I didn't think it was a horrible episode either. And it seemed like either people loved it or hated it, but Steve Reno says, I don't think anyone will be drinking Mountain Dew out of their action figure packaging. Yeah, you're probably right on that. Maybe info will come this weekend. Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like, some of the Hasbro's PR, and Hasbro has like so many different PR people and stuff. It's hard to keep track, but it seems like they have put out a statement through email. But again, I just like sounds like wouldn't you put that up on your own social media? And it was again it was the same thing when they did their PR sent out to certain like fan sites about the no longer doing pre-orders, and that ended up being complete bullshit. So I just Michael still likes the Mandalorian. I like it. I have not thought this season has been as good as the first two seasons, but my biggest problem with this season of The Mandalorian is it just is not really clear where they're going with it. I'm not sure, where they're taking things. I have a feeling we're gonna end up seeing like Sabine in from the Rebel show pop up in the Ahsoka series. So I don't know if like this is just gonna be kind of a handoff. If this season's gonna kind of just hand things off to the Ahsoka series, and with the whole Mandalorian thing and trying to retake their planet, but the only episode of The Mandalorian of this season that I just didn't like was the one where it started off really good with the TIE interceptors, but then it just took this like turn to the left with the whole thing on Corsica with the doctor, and I was like, "What the hell?" So that episode I did not like, but all the other episodes I thought like they didn't blow my socks off, but I thought they were decent. Now, I will tell you that Star Trek Picard is the best television I've seen in a long time. Definitely the best Star Trek I've seen in a long time. So, like, I'm far more excited about season 3 of Star Trek Picard than I have been The Mandalorian. In fact, today's episode, if you if you're watching Star Trek Picard, I thought was fantastic. Henry, this season for Mandalorian seems to be much more about the Bo Katan than it has been Din Djarin or Grogu. Like I almost feel like they're like I wouldn't be surprised if they end up doing a Bo Katan series spin-off at some point. Glenn says he enjoyed The Mandalorian. Yeah, like I said, I didn't think it. I haven't hated this season. My only complaint about this season of The Mandalorian is, like I said, I still we're 5 episodes in, and I still don't really know where this season's heading. Um, Henry says, yeah, but I think there's going to be a spin-off series for Star Trek. So like legacy, I don't know if they're going to call it Legacy or a Titan series or something, but I don't think we've seen the last of these characters. Now, most of the next generation characters would probably just have like guest appearances and stuff on the show. It wouldn't be just like they wouldn't have reoccurring roles every week, but I feel like this is going to be a launching point for a new Star Trek series. So, and if it is, hopefully it will be as good as this Picard season has been. Paul says, the Book of Bo Katan. I don't even know who Lizzo is. I mean, I know who she was in the episode, but like I've never seen. Jerry says prefer Bo Katan over Cara Dune as support to Mondo and Grogu. She can fit in most scenes with them. But she's definitely taken more of a lead role to me in this season than like Cara Dune. Cara Dune was always like a backup character, but it really feels like the focus has been on Bo Katan in this season so far. So, and like I say, I have a feeling that whatever happens in this season is going to carry forward into the Ahsoka series. But I will say one thing I haven't liked too much about The Mandalorian this season is how everybody in the galaxy seems to be kind of like idiots. Like everybody in the New Republic seems to be like an idiot. And the people in the planet today in this week's episode, idiot might not be the right word, but they really didn't look like people that could like take care of themselves. So uh, it's this weird theme that they seem to be doing where like everybody in the galaxy has kind of like, I don't know. And I get as far as like the New Republic goes, I guess since we know that this New Republic doesn't really work, that you know with everything that ends up happening in the sequels, but I just I never like that was probably the thing I didn't like the least about the sequels was just how after everything that happened in the original Star Wars movies, and then to basically end up setting up a government that completely fails. It just kind of, I don't know. It's probably realistic to some extent, but you're right as far as the bureaucracy goes. But I feel like, I don't know. Like I said, there is probably an element of realism there, but yeah, Salome was back. She she has not like all the accessories are sitting over here, and she has not like tried to steal any, so that's a good thing. What's up, Jacob? I don't think the MCU have become dumbed down. What I don't like with the MCU though is like all these kid geniuses and how like the kids are like smarter than everybody else. I mean, every show's got a kid genius now, and it that gets a little annoying. Later, Michael. But I mean, MCU has not been as good to me since Endgame. I don't hate it as much as I've seen a lot of other people hate on it, but I definitely feel like some of the magic has left the MCU ever since Avengers Endgame. Now, I did see like Chris Evans doing an article or an interview recently where he was kind of hinting maybe that we would be seeing him again as Captain America. Like he was saying things like, it's just not quite ready time for him to come back, but definitely would like to see him come back. Things like that. So, well, yeah, Thor. But I mean, Thor, that started with the last Thor movie, and that's more about trying to make it too funny. And yeah, I did not like Love and Thunder, and the thing I hated the most about Ragnarok was I thought they took the comedy too far. I don't mind a little comedy mixed into with these movies, but you can definitely take it too far. And they started to take it too far in Thor Ragnarok, but then instead of like pulling back, they were like, let's just go full throttle on the comedy with Love and Thunder, and I didn't think it worked well. Well, I've never worried about the source material because MCU has never followed the source material that closely. So I don't get so hung up in, that we're not getting like exact comic book story representation in the MCU. But I definitely feel like, they have overplayed the comedy a bit too much in things like Thor Love and Thunder. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy, it worked for the most part, but even that, I feel like it's kind of gotten to the point. I mean, I'm glad this is the last Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I mean, no, not, I'm not. It ain't that bad yet. It has not gotten that bad yet. Batman. Oh my God, Batman. I think again with the MCU, the biggest problem has just been it's kind of lost its way. Like all these different subplots and stuff, and there's no cohesive storyline to kind of carry us through. And maybe that will change with the whole Kang thing. But and again, that they killed off Tony Stark and made Chris Evans, Steve Rogers an old man and stuff. I mean, I think they got rid of their main characters too soon, too quickly, all at the same time before they brought in like suitable replacements. Ant-Man is not a bad character, but he's not on the same caliber as Iron Man or Captain America. And so expecting an Ant-Man movie to carry the franchise like a Captain America or Iron Man or Avengers would, it just doesn't work to me. Same thing with Guardians of the Galaxy. Same thing with Shang-Chi and some of these others, Eternals. I mean, those are just not the heavyweights of the Marvel universe and never have been because most of those characters have not been able to carry long-term comic book series. Doctor Strange is certainly been around a long time, but he's never been a character to carry his own series for any long period of time. Usually it runs for a couple issues, then it gets canceled. And this is even before. I mean, I know that's very common in comic books these days, but back in the day when comics would actually last, 300 issues before getting canceled. Characters like Doctor Strange was lucky if it got past issue 25 or something. Characters like Doctor Strange and some of these others, they're good supporting characters, but they're not going to carry the universe. And I think when they bring the X-Men in and they bring the Fantastic Four in, if they do it right, then they will have characters that they could hand the baton off, that the Iron Mans and the Captain Americas could hand the baton off to and still carry the Marvel Universe. But I think they jumped the gun on that, and they should have waited until they had brought those characters in before, like, killing off Tony Stark and such. All right, well, it's getting past 8, so I'm going to cut a little bit short. But thanks once again for everyone dropping in. Again, my final thoughts on the 112 Collective Batman. Not a bad figure. I mean, definitely after 3 years, I feel like they could have washed the figure themselves. We shouldn't have to wash the figure off ourselves. I definitely worry about this rubber material and how that's going to last over time. And definitely would be careful when moving joints and stuff with this one. Doesn't look too bad. So, I mean, if you're a Michael Keaton Batman fan, this is probably one that you will hopefully be able to add to your collection. But, if it hadn't taken 3 years to come out, I probably would like it better. I will definitely display it on my shelf, but I don't know. It's definitely, after 3 years, it's like, this should be the best damn Michael Keaton Batman figure ever made, right? And it definitely doesn't fit that bill. It's definitely, on par with the NECA one. So, I don't know. Those are my general thoughts about the figure. Again, I'm not a huge Mezco 112 collector to begin with, but I definitely wouldn't go out and spend like if you missed out on the pre-orders and stuff. I definitely wouldn't go to like eBay. I don't think this figure is worth spending 3 or 4 times the retail price for to try and get it. So if you missed out on the original pre-order, I would just say stick with your NECA figure or what have you. Happy Easter to you. I think Easter is next weekend. So yeah, definitely. But yeah, I've rambled on long enough. But as always, guys, thanks for checking out the video, the live stream. Always appreciated. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.
Hey, thanks for watching today's video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification to alert it every time I upload a new video. And be sure to head over to the Toy News International and Marvelous News message boards communities. It's a great place to talk toys and win cool contests like $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. And remember, action figures are great.